So, good evening to all of you. I am Rahul from EduGuruji, and today we are going to discuss sentence completion. And this is one of the very important aspect, a very important part of the IPMAT question paper. And today we will. This is one of our series where we will be dealing with various types of questions that you're likely to negotiate in your examination. And one of the type is the sentence completion. So as you can see, I have written something about here. It is the completing the thought. So I'm giving you just a sort of a clue to you. In your examination, and one of the type is the sentence completion. So I'm giving you a little bit of clue here. So when I'm talking about sentence completion, obviously I'm talking about the completing the thought. So that means whenever you're trying to answer these type of questions, you're definitely trying to complete the thought, what the reader, what the writer, or what the examiner has talked about in it. So there would be a sort of a fill in the blanks where you're likely to you're likely to fill the blanks or fill the blank, and thereby you're completing the thought, what the author has written about it. So with this kind of information or with this clue, I would like to start today's session. And again, I welcome all of you for this particular session, and let's begin a journey. So whenever I'm talking about sentence completion, the sentence completion questions are basically, they're designed to test your vocabulary skills, they're designed to skill your grammar skills, and they're designed to see your reading ability. So that means let me come to these things, and then we will be able to understand what do we mean by these things that I'm talking about, and how they're relevant or how they are applicable from sentence completion questions for the sentence completion. So let's see what they are. So whenever I'm talking about, as I've talked about, said vocabulary is one of the important aspects, grammar is another, and the reading ability is the third one. So when I say vocabulary, what do we mean by that? It means that a word, when we're talking about vocabulary, it means the word power. It means that you must have a fair idea about the synonyms, then antonyms, then the collocations, the idioms, and the phrasal verbs. And I'm sure you must be aware of the fact about the synonyms and the antonyms. That is, synonyms are the similar words, and the antonyms are the opposite words. But the collocations means, there are words. There are number of words which they tend to come together. So therefore they're called as collocations. Like you would always say, just like instant coffee or instant food. So this is a sort of a collocation. And in English language, specifically, you have these collocations. They are very, very much relevant and prevalent also. Whenever you read, these are likely to come. And from your examination point of view, definitely they are very, very important. And I would request you to have a fair idea about them. So just go through them and then just see, and you should know about them. Idioms, I'm sure you know about them. Idioms are basically the group of words where you cannot have, the meaning is not coming from the combined meaning of the parts of the sentences. Then you have phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are again the combination of verbs plus preposition. So phrasal verbs are the combination of phrasal verbs. It may be like look for. So here verb, the look is the verb, and for is a preposition or prepositional phrase. And they may be look like, there can be verb plus preposition plus adverb. So I am looking for this. Of course, this is a preposition. So look down on So this is another type of phrasal verbs that you may come across while solving these questions. Then, of course, whenever you are going to negotiate or encounter the sentences, you would be coming across the various types of sentence varieties. So when I say sentence varieties, what I mean by that, it is basically the types of sentences like simple, compound, complex, complex, and compound complex. These are the various type of sentences that you're likely to come across. Of course, compound complex will not be much visible, but of course, a simple, compound, and and the complex sentence, you are likely to negotiate more, or you are likely to encounter more with them. Apart from these things, you would be looking for important concepts like subject verb agreement, pronoun references, the relative pronouns, the parallelism, the modifiers, the prepositions, the conjunctions, and the determiners. So essentially, what they want from you is, do you have a fair idea about the knowledge, or do you have a fair idea or the knowledge about the syntax or the grammar of the language? The third thing which is very important is the reading ability. That is, or the reading skills. So, by this time, you must have a fair idea about what do we mean by reading ability or the reading skills. You must have done a lot of reading comprehensions, the passages, and definitely you must have done a lot of, you solved these questions, and while solving those reading comprehensions, you must have come across the questions like main idea, or inferring the something, or the identifying the relationship. All those things are going to be the part of it. So this is what the sentence completion, or the full kit of the sentence completion is. And today we would see some of the questions which I'm sure would be helpful to you, and we would like to see why they are like this. So, and how can we solve them, and what is the logic behind them while solving them. So my main emphasis is not the answer, but why we are choosing that particular option. That is the main objective that I wanted to foreground. So I'm sure you must have understood now about the three important things that you need to take care of. That is, first is word power, that is second is syntax, the third is reading ability, or that is what we call as a reading skills. So let's try to solve some of the questions and see how can we solve them. So these are very simple questions, and we will see from the various perspectives also. We would like to see, is it possible to solve them through the syntax also, or then semantics, through the semantics also, that is through the meaning also. So the first question is, let's see, the first question is, he was the most person he had ever met. In fact, his magnanimity knew no limits. I hope you understood the question. First is, he's asking, he was the most person he had ever met. In fact, his magnanimity knew him no limit. Now, let us understand the fill in the blanks, and what does it talks about it. If you can see, this fill in the blanks has, if we can divide this sentence into two parts, this is the subject part and this is the predicate part. I hope you understand. He is the subject here, and was the most, this is the part of predicate. Now the verb over here is the was, is definitely was, and then you have the fill in the blanks, which is asking is the most person. So obviously, this is the person, so this is a noun, and here we need a modifier actually. So, before a noun, what can come? An adjective can come, right? So we need an adjective here, because we can see there is a superlative degree. The superlative degree has come. So the is a determiner. So we can easily identify, say, okay, this is the noun phrase, this particular, the most, fill in the blanks, person. So this is what we call as a noun phrase. Now in this noun phrase, we need a modifier. Now look at the options what we have. The charitable, miserly, reclusive, and prolific. Now what we can see it. Now the clue comes from where? Obviously, if you know the meaning of these words, it is well and good enough. But still, to make it 100% sure, if you read entire sentence, you will find he had ever met. He was the most, fill in the blanks, person he had ever met. So you can see this is a compound, this is a complex sentence. Here there is a conjunction, that is that. Now there is a ever met, which is again, giving more intensity to this particular word, the most, which is superlative. In fact, now you can see there is a transitional word, that is in fact. Now he is giving you a very, very important clue, that is magnanimity. And magnanimity he knew. So we know that magnanimity is somebody who is generous, or who is kind. So, right. So now let's see which would be the best option to keep the word over there, or the adjective what we get. So miserly is definitely, it is something who is very stingy, who doesn't spend money. So obviously this doesn't go with it. Reclusive, somebody who is alone, so it won't be there. And the prolific is, of course, something who is very, very fertile, actually, one who is more fecund or more productive. But still we want to know that who is one who is relatable to magnanimity, the kindness. So the right word would be charitable. So this goes well along with the what we want to have. So here you can see this particular question is related to the modifier, that is with the adjective. I hope it is clear. So can we move forward? Let's move forward to the next question. Then we have another question. This again a very simple sentence. This is on his character. Now again, if you look at the syntactically, you have on his character. So you can see this as a noun phrase. Again, a noun phrase here. You need to put a noun here. What do you want? You should have what we want. There should be noun. If we can identify any noun from here, it would be very easy for us to put that way. But let's see what could be the option. I'm sure, this is a very common word which is coming, blot. But is it the fact? Can we put it here? Blot. Then you have a blur, and then you have a slur, and then you have a spot. So obviously, on his character, one of the important thing is talking about is his character. So something which is talked about on the person's character, his integrity, that is something. So blot is actually, it's a stain. It's a stain, or it's more like symbolic in nature. So if we say this is a blot on his character, so it would be a stain, and it remains more or less permanent also. If you must have seen, blot remains it is permanent for the matter. So this is a bit dicey, or this is, I hope, this cannot be. Let's see or wait till we come to all that. Blur, of course, won't come, because blur is something which is not clearly visible. So it's definitely we can eliminate it. There is nothing. Then there is a slur, and then there is again spot, which is we should not. Spot on his character, it doesn't go well with this. So now we have one option, that is slur. The slur means what? Slur means, it means to insult. It means insult or something what we call as an offensive remark. This is one of the so you can now, can we make a meaning out of it? Of course. Now see, this is a slur on his character, so the meaning would come what as, this is a insult on his character. That would be the correct meaning that will come. So this is I hope this would be pretty clear to you. Now again, let's see another example. This is a good for a picnic. Again, what we need, so no, this is very important for us to identify whatever the fill in the blanks has come. If you know what part of speech is coming, then it is easy for us to sometimes it's very easy for us to pick out one particular choice or option, and we can easily make the fill in the blanks. So let's see, this is a good for a picnic. So we are talking about plot, spot, scene and landscape. So what should be the correct answer? Of course, we cannot use plot. Plot is something which is a smaller in area. So obviously we don't go to a plot for a picnic. So definitely it is not going to be the correct answer. Then of course spot, yes, it is a collocational, this is a sort of a collocational combination of the word. We say always, you must have heard this, picnic spot. So this is more or less a collocational word. So it is, we can say this is a correct. Of course, scene cannot come because scene will be, obviously it would be in a movie or something like that, and the landscape is a sort of a view. So these three options cannot put in this particular option. So we have this is a good spot. We can write good picnic. This is a good spot for picnic. So I hope this is clear. Now you can see again, these two are some sort of this particular, this is based on collocation. So can you think of it? This is why collocation plays an important role in English language, and you should know a lot of collocations in order to answer these types of questions. So I hope, let's move. I hope this is clear, and let's go ahead. Then again, now we have another question, which is, let's see, this is a little bit, the state is efficient. Now what can come? Should we use administration? Should we use democracy? Should we use policy? Should we use autocracy? And should we use plutocracy? So these, you can see, three terms are look pretty odd, or they do not go well with the efficient. You can have a democracy is efficient. The democracy of the state is efficient. It doesn't go well. Then of course autocracy is something which is governed by one person or one who rules the country. That is autocracy. And then you have a plutocracy. The plutocracy means the government by the wealthy people. So obviously we do not have the plutocracy. The efficiency of the plutocracy cannot be efficient. So obviously we have now two options left with us, administration and the policy. Now we can say the policy of the state is efficient. Yes, this could be well enough. This could be good enough to fill in the blanks. Or let's say what could be the administration of it. The policy is something which is some sort of a what you call as which is not very, which is for a short term. It is not for a it doesn't have a very wide scope as compared to the administration. So administration, basically it is a execution and management of the part. So definitely the answer would be administration, because, and it goes well also, the administration of the state is efficient. And again, we know that administration is a noun. Sorry. So it goes well with this particular option. I hope it is clear. Then let's go to the fourth one, that is of private limited companies is in the hands of its directors. Now let's see, the managers of the private limited company is in the hands of its directors. So obviously, the managers are not working in the hands of the director. The directors are the policy makers. So obviously, managers are not doing that. Then you have administrators here. So what we are looking for is something, the administrators of the private. No, that cannot be possible, because again, administrators are, they are executional part. Then you have a management, and then you have a department, and then you have a society. So obviously, the department and society, they are not going to be controlled by the directors. Obviously, the directors would be controlling the management of the company, and it goes well with the option, the management of the private limited company is in the hands of its director. I hope it is very much clear to you. Let's move ahead to the next question. Now, this is, this we can move forward. This is the little bit the same examples, options are there. Now, let's go to the next part, that is, it is difficult to drink from a cup which is full to the. Now you have the options: top, edge, brim, circumference, and the topmost. So obviously, the cup will not have a circumference, or we are not talking about the circumference here, and we are not also talking about the topmost here. Of course, we have an edge also, and then you have the top. So if you look at these questions, it is difficult to drink from a cup which is full to the top of the top. Then second would be that which is full to the edge, and then we have a brim. If I make a diagram, it would be make you more easier to you. So let's see, this is our cup. If something comes to this level, to the edge of the top. So this is the top of it, and this particular top is called as the brim. Brim. So there is a collocational word also, to the full of the brim. This is like or brimful. Edge cannot be, because edge it's not what you can say. It is just a sort of a. It is not the brim actually. It cannot be. You cannot say it is a brim. It is just a part of that particular cup or any container. Similarly, you cannot have top also. Top can be anything. So the answer would be to the brim. Now you have another example. Another question is, and ecstasy are the two sides of the puzzle called life. So we have a pain, penury, agony and anguish, and elation. So now we are talking about two things. Ecstasy means the happiness, something. So we are talking about two sides of the puzzle called life. So definitely you have this is a positive side, and so you need a negative side over here. So what you need, let's see what are the meanings. So you know the meaning of the pain. Then penury is extreme poverty. Penury means extreme poverty. It is, you can say, very, very poor. Then you have agony, and then you have anguish, and elation and ecstasy are the same. So you cannot have elation and elation cannot be there. Now you're left with three things, that is pain, agony and anguish. Agony and anguish both are more or less similar to the pain. but agony is more refers to the physical part, and anguish refers to the more of an emotional part. So if you put it, so physical pain and ecstasy are the two sides of the puzzle called life? No, it cannot be, because you're only talking about something which is more of a physical in the sense, then anguish is more of an emotional thing. So need something which is a broader area, broader concept. So what we can use, the pain and ecstasy are the two sides of the puzzle called life. Okay, so the right answer would be the pain and ecstasy, because the pain has a broader concept as compared to agony and anguish, which are still not a narrower concept. They are narrower concept, so therefore they cannot come. I do agree agony and anguish may come, but the pain would be the best choice over here. So this is absolutely based on your knowledge of the word, your word power. This particular question demands your ability to understand the question and bringing out the knowledge of the vocabulary that you have, or rather I would say it is the in-depth vocabulary is required. Then next is smoking health. I mean, this is when everybody would be able to answer this question. The answer is effects. You cannot have effects and effects. The reason is smoking. So here, the important thing which I wanted to bring into your notice is they just want to know the result, the difference between what is the effects and what is the effect. So we know effect means the result, and effect means influence. So obviously smoking influences the health, not results health. Obviously, if you use effects over there, the meaning would completely change. Obviously, kills, affects and rejects, they cannot be the correct answers. I mean, they cannot be applied. They cannot be applied here. Now let's go to the next sentence completion. That next fill in the blanks. That is, all citizens should be ready to hold to their country. Now you have a to. You need a ready to. So you need something which is you need a verb over here. Ready to. There should be what you need, verb. So let's see what the verb we can have. So there is a defend is there, uphold is there, nurture is there, assert is there, and convoy is there. Obviously, convoy is not a verb, so we will erase it out. I mean, we will eliminate it. Now let's see what the meaning is comes out to be. All citizens should be ready to their country. So that is definitely talking about, they should come out and, save or protect their country. So obviously the meaning could be defend. So all citizens should be ready to defend their country. Now you may ask a question, why not uphold, or why not nurture, or why not assert? So the real meaning would be, or the differences would be, whenever you're talking about uphold, it means you are holding, you are trying to maintain, or you are trying to maintaining the moral values, or right. So uphold would be more or less the moral rules, the values or the rules. The nurture is something which you bring about, or you take care of the people that way. So obviously we are not here to nurture their countries. Then assert is to make claim. So obviously this cannot also come, and these two cannot also come. I hope this again demands these questions again. These two questions particularly demand, all these questions demand actually that you should have a in-depth knowledge of the vocabulary. The next one is, this is again a very interesting one. Pollution causes a lot of problems. Now you have a breathe, breath, breather, breathing, and breather. All words are starting with some relation with 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 the with the word breathe. So what do we mean by breath? We have breathe, breath, breather, breathing, and breather. Now I'm sure you know these two meanings. Breathe is something that we inhale. I mean, which we which we call as a saas. Breath is to take air inside, and then there is a word called breather. Breather is something which is respite, something which gives you sort of a respite, or it makes things easier for you. And then the breathing, and then breather is the community of the similar people. So now one may say, okay, we may have a breath, or we may have a breath, a lot of breath or breathe. But again, see what has come here. The word of has come. So whenever the word preposition comes and you are talking about any verb, it should have a ing form. So the correct answer would be pollution causes a lot of breathing problems. I hope it is clear. Then next is, if a rider does not hold correctly, he can fall, bridle, bridle, whip, saddle, and paddle. So these are again, very minute differences that you will have to apply them. Let's see individual meaning, what they mean by. So bridle is a set of controlling, is a set which controls the horse. Bridle is of course related with the bride, so definitely this cannot come because it is related with the marriage, and we are definitely not talking about the marriage over here, and definitely we're talking about rider who is on the horse. Then you have a whip. So whip is something we call as a lash, but it cannot control the horse. Saddle is one where the horse rider is sitting on it or holding, right? He is sitting on it. And then paddle is not there. So the answer would be the bridle, which is controlling the horse. So we will be, if a rider does not hold the bridle correctly, he can fall. Now let's go to the next part. Next question. Her complaints with the complaints we have received from others. Now very interesting one. Her complaints with the complaints we have received from others. Now we have options here: agree, similar, identical, tally, according. Now we can solve this. A little bit tricky, but how can we solve it? We need here a verb actually, which should go with also. So let's see what can go with. So with, if we say agree with, but you must have, agree with is basically we use when we agree with some person. So agree always comes with a person. So obviously we are talking about the complaints. So agree cannot come here. Of course it is a verb, but agree cannot come because it is it always goes with the. So if I say I agree with you, so we have agreed to do something. So if I agree with your opinion, so I'll agree with always comes with the person. Similar with complaints, no, it is not. Then identical, it generally identical comes with to, identical to. So had it been to, then we could have thought of it, but this cannot also possible. Now we have a word called tally. So tally can be a good option here. Let's see. Accord cannot come with it because this would be too idiomatically, it is not a good option. So the answer would be her complaints tally with the complaints we have received from the others. So what does it mean? Tally means matching. It is not similar or identical. What we want is that the complaints of the both should be matching with each other. So therefore the right word would be the tally, which is also verb, and idiomatically it also goes well with it. I hope it is clear. I think you can easily see this. Now another is with another, which is again very easy, of breath, volley, gulp, breath and brush. So very easy. You need to two things, breathe and breath. So obviously this is a verb, and so this is and verb, so we don't have to work on this. So obviously you can say a breath of fresh air relaxes the tense mind. So I mean, this is quite easy. Let's go to the next part. Now these are little bit tricky, these are slightly difficult. So let's see how can we do it. In case of acute, membranes secrete excessive. Now we have to fill two options here and here, right? So we have options like sinus, mucus, mucose, then sinus, mucus, mucose, sinus, mucus, mucus, sinus, mucus. So a little bit, a lot of spellings mistakes are also there. And then we have to see which is the best correct option here, right? So we have a 3-part here. So this is where we have to 1, this is 2, and this is third count. So in case of, so if we know meaning of what, the sinus is actually, it's a cavity. So obviously in case of acute sinus, no, this cannot be the option, because you can see mucus, then this is not the correct spelling of the mucus. So this cannot be the option. Then you can see sinus, mucus, mucose. So this cannot be also option. This is also not possible. And then you have this particular option which says in case of acute sinusitis, that is inflammation of the sinus, mucous membrane secretes excessive mucus. So the correct answer would be the C option, which says in case of acute sinusitis, mucous membranes secrete what? Mucus. I hope it is clear now. Then we have another, next one is the economy has managed to retain its age despite demand for its exports. Now what are the options they have given? Leading, healthy, competitive, shrinking, sharp, favorable, predominant, average. Now if you look at the question, there is a negative word indicator, that is despite. So that means here what we have, the economy has managed to retain its, right? We need a word which is positive and we need a word which is negative. So let's see which is so leading and healthy, no, this cannot be, because this is positive and healthy is also positive, so we cannot have this. Then competitive and shrinking, yes, and economy has managed to retain its competitive age. So normally we use this in economics. This is a very, very, very common word, a very, very colloquial word, which is retain its competitive age, and shrinking despite its shrinking. It goes well with this particular option. Then let's see what about the C, sharp and favorable. So again you have favorable means positive, so again it cannot be. Then you have predominant and average. Obviously manage to, it will average. Again this is a positive, so we cannot use it. So the answer would be the C part, the B part, that is competitive. So economy has managed to retain its competitive age despite shrinking demand for its export. Got it? So I hope it must be clear. So you have this particular word gives you idea. So in the sum of the fill in the blanks and sentence completion, you may have words which will give you clue, and that will help you in picking up the particular option. Now next is, it will be for the management to implement the policy because of the employees. The same option we can use here, the same concept we can use. Look at the C. It will be, if we say what are the options, you see it will be for management to implement policy because of the employees. So there is a cause and effect. So we have to see what are the options which we can use here. Inconvenient and willing. So obviously, it looks like they have a very difficult for that. So inconvenient, willing for the management to implement. No, it doesn't look sound. Then you have a complicated, something which is complicated and concerned. Obviously, this won't be come because employees are not concerned about something. And then you have a burden and decision. It will be burden for the management to implement the policy because of the employees' decision. No, employees cannot decide in the management. And then you have another option, that is impossible and resistance, which goes well. So it will be impossible for the management to implement the policy because of the employees' resistance. So this goes well. So the correct answer would be D. That is, it will be impossible for the management to implement the policy because of the employees' resistance. So again, you can see the same concept is being used here in the second, this particular economic, this particular, and this particular. So let's go to the next one. Now another is, analysts are looking to more mergers in the banking. So obviously, if someone has been in the commerce sector, commerce field, or if one is reading newspaper, obviously one can easily say banking sector. So the one way is easily forward. You can see, okay, the sector is here. So the answer could be, the C would be the best answer. But let's see from the options that we have given. Analysts are looking around arena. So it doesn't go with banking arena. No. Looking ahead, the rivals. No, you cannot merge with the rival, which will boost the economy. You'll not see. Perhaps in the partners. Obviously, this is absolutely, it has no meaning at all. So the correct answer would be, and the phrase also is there, looking forward. Don't we say looking forward to meeting you? So they are expecting, they are expecting to more mergers, right? So let's go to the next part. After devastating fire, the board has no except of their textile factory. Now again, you can see there is a word has come, except. That means without it. So after devastating fire, the board has no, let's see, what is the idea inauguration? Obviously, we're talking about devastating fire, so we cannot think of this. Estimate and running. So estimate means to guess, is to make a calculations. So obviously, no estimate except for running, no. Then you have a power and modernizing. Definitely it doesn't go with the sense of the sentence. And then lastly would be the best one. After the devastating fire, the management has no option except closure of the power or closure of the textile factory. So I hope this goes well. Then next is the musical performance made evening memorable. Now let's see what are the options we have. Deliberated intention. More or less, if you look at musical performance, deliberated my intentions. No. They made my evening memorable. No, that cannot be possible. Then there is a masquerade and nerve. Masquerade is to pretend something, and then nerves. No, it is not doing well. Then you have another option, stimulated sense. So musical performance, yeah. So whenever you're listening to music, what happens? It energizes you, it stirs you. So the right word would be stimulated, and then obviously it would be what has stimulated my senses. So obviously, and the freed and nostrils, definitely that cannot come. Right? So I hope it is clear to you. Let's go to the next part. So now we are finished with sentence completion. We will also take a look at the sentence corrections. So let's see what a sentence correction, what does it mean? Sentence correction refers to identifying and fixing errors in the grammar, punctuation, word choice, sentence structure, or clarity to improve the sentence's correctness and the readability. So again, what you need when you are talking about sentence correction, the first thing is definitely subject-verb agreement, the pronoun reference, modifiers, parallelism, diction, and so many more things. So when we will move ahead and we'll see more of them in the next coming videos, we will see more sentence corrections. Then we can see some of the more the ingredients that would be the part of sentence correction. We'll see them. So for that, let's see what we can use it. The first one is the use of the radar as well as two-way radio paging make it possible for the state police to intercept most speakers. The most, right? So what is talking about, can we correct this particular option? What should be the right answer? So look at the use of radar as well as two-way paging. So now you can see here, this is the subject. You know, this entire part is preposition, right? Which is of radar as well as of two-way radio paging. So this particular subject is what? The use is the subject, that is singular. So now let's see which would be the correct answer for this. So what we need, or what you can do is also, you just hide this particular portion. Now, because let's see, this is the use is singular. So you need a verb which is also singular in nature. So let's see, option, make it possible. No. This is plural, makes it possible. Yes, this is absolutely correct. So what we need to put it here is makes. So this would makes it possible, allow the possibility, and makes the possible. But rest of them are incorrect. The only thing you need to do is identify the subject and the verb. So this particular concept is based on subject-verb agreement. The next one is accordingly to senior partner's instruction, they have remitted the amount to your bankers. Accordingly to the senior partner's instruction, definitely it is not correct. Accordingly on, no, we do not see this type of. On accord of, this is of course incorrect. Basically it is on account of, it should be. So this is incorrect. In accordance with means in compliance with. That is there. And accordingly as, of course, this is also not. So the right answer would be in accordance with. That means implying or the complying the instructions of the partner's instruction, they have remitted the amount to your bankers. I hope it is clear. So it is the in accordance with. Then again we have very simple one. That is one of the functions of the function of a teacher is to spot the cases of maladjustment. So we have this particular option, one of the function. So always remember, whenever we say one of, there would be always, the noun which is followed by of should be always plural. So it should be functions. So isn't it, you say like one of my friends. So one of is always followed by a plural verb. Sorry, plural noun. So that is what you need to remember. So the answer would be one of the rest would be one of the functions of the answer. Correct answer would be A. Right. So again, you can see these are all based on mostly subject verb agreement. Right. So let's go to the next part. If I would have realized the nature of the job earlier, I would not have accepted. If you see this particular question, you will find that this is based on the third condition. This is based on third condition. So the third condition says, what is the structure of the third condition? The third condition says the past perfect, the main clause would be in past perfect, and the subordinate clause would be would have plus third form of the verb. So if you look at this particular, so this is a complex sentence. So here what they have said, if I would have realized the nature of the job earlier, I would not have accepted. So you can see here, this part is okay. Would have is okay. Would have not accepted. This is quite fine. There is no problem with this. This particular part has a problem. Now what could be the problem over here? The problem over here is, now we have to use this particular construction. So what should be? If, because this is a present, this is absolutely ungrammatical. So it should be what? If I had realized, this should be the correct one. But has he given this option? If I have had, in case I would have, had I been, had I, yes, what he has given? Had I. So what he has done is, had I accepted, what he has done here is, he has given you a inversion part. So the correct answer would be, had I realized the nature of the job earlier, I would not have accepted it. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's go to the next question. All members of the clubs were assembled to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the club. Now you see, this is a passive, were assembled. So this is the construction of passive. Now there is they have done us to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the club. So obviously there is a past tense, or they have celebrated the anniversary of the club before that. So this has to be it should be in the past perfect. So had assembled to celebrate, were assembling to celebrate, no. Had been assembled for celebrating, no. Assembled to celebrate, no. Yes, this could have been, people might have, you may think assembled is there, but because we have the celebration is already done, so we need a verb which is in the past perfect. So the correct answer would be had assembled to celebrate. The next is, the student decided to raise funds to helping the poor. Obviously, the biggest problem here is to raised, because to infinitive is always followed by the first form of the verb. So let's see. Now again you have a helping is also there. So you need not only to infinitive, plus also you need a preposition which is followed by the ing form. So you have what? To raise funds to, no, because to is here. You cannot have ing form with to. Then raised funds, to raised, no, that's same. Then C looks like to be okay. To raise funds for helping the poor. Raise funds of, this can also be incorrect. So the answer correct would be raise funds for helping the poor. Right. So next, let's go to the next question. Health workers are responsible for monitoring health care of service of people. Now look at the question again. Are monitoring the health care of service of people. Now what are the options they have given? Health care of the people, obviously of it cannot be correct option. Health care through the people. If you use the through, that means people become medium for that. So obviously this cannot be also possible. Health of the people, yes, there we could have taken it. Let's say we keep it. Then you have a healthcare service to people, right? So now the question is of people and then services to people. So generally whenever one more thing is, here we have a service and we have a services also here. Service would be, when we are talking about the service or when we're talking about the services, services is something which is, the host of the various services that you provide, right? Like doctor service or the pathology service or the other diagnostic services that you provide to them, right? So whenever you're using to, that means you're providing to them. One may say, of course, how of is possible, but we are not here to monitoring the health of the people. We are providing services to the people. So the correct answer would be health care services to people. So whenever you're using to, that means we are providing to them. I hope it is clear. So the difference between health services to people and health services of people, in one case health services of people means you are monitoring the health of people, and in the second case services providing to people, that is you're giving to the services to the people. Now let's go to the next one. He was the last one to got off the bus. Obviously you have get off the bus, get off the bus, got off the bus, got by the bus. So obviously we're looking for the past tense. He was the last one to. Both are present tense, so we cannot use them. The correct answer would be got off the bus. That means to get down from the bus. Then you have the congestion of the street must be seen to believe. This is, now look at the question here. This is passive, and this is an option where parallelism will come. So what we need here is, here also you need, because here must be is followed by be. So here also you need to have a be here. So let's see the option which are there. So have been to believe, have been seen for believing, have seen for believe, and be seen to be believed. So the option here you can see B is here coming. So we will be using the option D to just which is the correct option. Then the last one is, I am working on this job since last Monday. So this is because again the preposition has come since, so obviously it is an inviting case for the present perfect. So what we need, I have been working on this job since last Monday. So here we would be using the option B, because this is a perfect tense, right? So that is all about it. Thank you very much. And if you have any queries, you can put it in the comment, and I would be very happy to answer those questions. And this is one of the series that we have come out with, and definitely we will be coming with more series, which will be dealing with the other parts, other aspects of this particular examination. Thank you very much.